Hi guys, it's me, Ian. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here next to the Ming Dynasty wall. Talk a little bit more about that maybe in another video because I'm catching up with Bruce Connolly, who's everything you need to know about Beijing. He will help you find out. Anyway, down here is a kind of grey, nasty day, and I thought I would just touch on something that has been bothering me for a few days now, maybe longer, 10 days or so, based on a video that I produced and published. And part of doing a YouTube channel, I guess, is that you do put yourself out there for people to take a wee pop at you, and especially if I'm comparing maybe Beijing, China to some of the Western countries and asking some questions. And I get the point that that's not to everybody's liking, so people will take a little bit of pop at me, and I'm okay with that, to be fair. My father once said to me, he said, "Son, be part of that 20%. And I did ask him to explain what he meant, and he said, I'm trying to remember, but he said, I remember it, he said there's 5% of people that rule the world. They'll never be there. These guys are aloof, distant, bureaucracy, hereditary, and also a lot of kind of generation wealth passed down. There's another 70% of people who just go along with the flow. Sheep, like people, have a lack of critical thinking, and they will just go with the flow. They will do whatever they get influenced to do. And there's a 20% of the population, he would say, that actually make a difference. These are the people that stand up, fight back, argue the case, debate, and they actually make a difference. These are the people that you've probably seen. These are the people that you probably admire, from guys like Muhammad Ali to John Lennon to Steve Jobs and all these other people that you look back over time, Mahatma Gandhi, and you admire, and you think these people changed the world. These are all part of the 20%. For whatever reason you might think they're not, then give me drop it in the box below. But that was something that was bothering me, and I'll tell you why. So while doing the YouTube, and in particular this channel, which is leaning towards China recently and some of the things that I'm comparing, the most interesting thing is how people react and some of the things that they put in the comment and how controversial the comments are. Some of the comments are fantastic. They give me a real boost, and they're really positive, and people are really asking questions and they're curious and they're adding great conversation to the debate. Other comments are just way off the mark, and for me they reflect that mindset of the 70% my father once talked about. These are the people that just follow sheep. They're just trotting along with whatever they're influenced to say, and that is okay. I usually try and have a bit of a banter with people like that, to be honest, and maybe have a little bit of fun. Sometimes I just end up ignoring it because, well, you know, what's the point half the time? But when you've got skin in the game like what I have with a YouTube channel, then you're out there and people can say what they want, and I get it. However, some nasty comments are just terrible, and it makes me really worry about humans. Some people have hate at their very core, and that blows my mind how people can be so nasty. And I don't think they're probably like that in real life. Just a note here for people. YouTube holds back the nasty comments for my review. So when people do leave a comment that's nasty with vile language and then come back and saying, you blocked me, or you're not allowing my comment to come through. It's not me, it's YouTube. I usually let the comments come through. Please debate, and the debate is great. Some of the comments I may delete because they're just racist and nasty, but I do think we should have the debate, so I usually just allow the comments to come through. Again, I usually sometimes just take myself away from the debate, because what's the point? You're arguing with people, 70% of the people that have just got a mindset that are not up for critical thinking. So I'm okay with that. Life is all about learning. For me, life is probably about influencing margins of society to 70%. Of that, you're probably only going to get to 5% of people and then try and get them to think differently, and I'm cool with that. This is an incredible wall, eh? It's very, very high. So one comment that really stuck with me was a comment that read, and I'll maybe share it at the bottom when I find it, but it actually basically said, all very well and done about what you are sharing from China and Beijing, but show me the poor people. Now, that's not a particular nasty comment, but it did really stick with me for a long time. Kind of went round in my head. And that's where I got to reflect a lot about that type of comment. If I'm sharing how far China has come with the money and the resources that it's had at its disposal, and saying that it's pretty impressive what they've done, and equally calling into question the Western countries that has also had a massive influx of cash over the years, could have done the same, but it didn't, then I believe we should be asking more questions. If your reaction to that information that I'm sharing about China versus the Western influx of cash and what they've done with it, investment and so on, if your reaction to that is, aye, okay, Ian, all very well and done, but show me your poor people, then I'm afraid you're missing the point. Does China have poor people? Absolutely, of course they do. Are China actively trying to improve the lives of poor people? Yes, they are. And they've had massive success in doing so. Do they have a long way to go in helping everyone have a better life? Yes. But, and this is a key point for me, they are trying to do that. They have a country and a mindset built on helping people foster a better life. I'm not sure that that is the case elsewhere in the world, in particular the countries that I'm familiar with, like European countries, the UK, Scotland, and America. That difference, what China has done here with the money they've had, the disposable and the investment they've made, versus the countries that I'm familiar with, and why they haven't done that, that's where your focus should be. That's my point. The irony is that the person that left that comment probably means well. They're probably helping out their local community, quite often popping in to check their elderly neighbour. And when they're down the local shopping centre, which is like the hub of the community in most places in the UK, they're most likely very positive and very active in the community. And also, they're most disgruntled with what is happening and not happening in the local community because of the lack of funding. They are complaining about the lack of policing, their poor support from the local politicians, etc. They're the ones that are first to complain, if you get my point. Maybe you should listen to what I'm saying and keep getting the information from guys like me, people like me walking about and saying, hey, here is investment and this is what your government should be doing, and maybe ask more questions. Anyway, my last point in this, if you think that I'm going to walk around China or anywhere for that matter, pointing my camera at poor people and saying, hey, look at poor people, just so some people in the West or elsewhere can feel better about themselves and happy that they're better off than other people elsewhere in the world, then probably you're following the wrong channel and you're hoping for me to say stuff that I'm not going to say. I suggest if that is the case and that's what you're hoping for me to do, then I suggest you jog on, maybe unsubscribe and have a look at other channels. I've got too much respect for other people and too much respect for humans. Hey, I'm just cutting into this video that's playing right now with me, Grumpy, walking down the side of the Ming Dynasty wall, sharing with you things that piss me off while living here in China and sharing the video content. But many things make me happy living here in China, and I'll share with you what makes me super happy now that I'm in China and other people are coming to China in the next video. Meanwhile, let's get back to Grumpy me. I have too much respect for other people to do that. I will, however, use my travels and the little voice that I have, keep challenging what I call the what could be. Yeah. And that is what we could do as a human race if we had less conflict, a better governing class, and more focus on how to improve everyone's life instead of destroying life. Call me a romantic, call me a dreamer. I know I am not the only one, sound like John Lennon here, because that is the main trait of the people in that 20% group, the people that actually want to change things. So I recommend you join the 20% group. You should join that club. This is me, Ian here, Beijing, next to the Ming Dynasty walls, I think is what you call it, saying to you, take care as always. Peace out. I'm going to give you a couple of videos on this area. Keep watching, tune in, and I will share more, especially about this guy called Edgar Snow. Very interesting chap. Anyway, I'm off to meet Bruce Connolly, another very interesting chap. Stay tuned. Catch you soon. Bye bye.